The Superman movie by James Gunn is more than just a reboot of DCEU. It's a powerful moral statement. This movie makes arguably the greatest case against regulatory measures like the Sokovia Accords from the MCU, arguing instead for a model of heroism rooted in moral clarity rather than political obedience.
The Sokovia Accords, approved by 117 countries.
The Sokovia Accords, as depicted in the MCU, were created to legally restrain and monitor the actions of enhanced individuals. After the collateral damage in Avengers: Age of Ultron, the United Nations sought to make superheroes accountable to international authority. The Accords were designed to prevent unilateral intervention and unsanctioned operations, even if those actions were morally justified.
It states that the Avengers, they'll operate under the supervision of a United Nations panel only when and if that panel deems it necessary.
It's the United Nations we're talking about. It's not Hydra.
No, but it's run by people with agendas, and agendas change.
However, Superman lays bare the flaws in such logic by presenting a scenario in which moral urgency must override political convenience.
The past 4 years, you've operated with unlimited power and no supervision. That's an arrangement the governments of the world can no longer tolerate.
What if this panel sends us somewhere we don't think we should go? What if there's somewhere we need to go and they don't let us? We may not be perfect, but the safest hands are still our own.
After Superman acted with violence against our Boravian allies, I think it'd be worth considering.
Big Blue stopped the war. Naive, maybe, but well-intentioned.
Well, Boravia invaded Jarhanpur, and I showed up and told them that wasn't right. There were no casualties and no significant injuries.
We're gonna lock up all metahumans now.
Look, other metahumans aren't going off half-cocked, interfering in foreign affairs.
I stopped a war.
In Superman, the fictional country of Boravia, an ally of the U.S. government, attempts to invade its neighbor, Jarhanpur, with the intent of wiping out its people. This is not a theoretical violation of sovereignty or a nuanced diplomatic conflict. It is an act of planned annihilation.
Boravia wants to save the people of Jarhanpur.
Again, Vasil Gurkos is sending troops to the Jarhanpurian border.
Superman's been out of commission less than a day, and already Boravia's pulling this crap?
Over in Eastern Europe, Boravian troops gather at the border seemingly mere minutes away from invading Jarhanpur once again. Without Superman here to stop it this time, the Jarhanpurians don't have much hope.
Superman intervenes to stop the invasion, regardless of Boravia's alliance with the U.S. or any international political ramifications. He does so because, simply, invading and slaughtering a population is wrong.
First of all, whether or not Jarhanpur is an imperfect country does not give another nation the right to invade it.
Yes, but the Boravian would be consider the consequences.
People were going to die!
If the Sokovia Accords were applied in this universe, Superman's actions would have been forbidden or at least heavily discouraged. He would have been expected to wait for authorization from international governing bodies, bodies likely influenced by political alliances, national interests, or strategic positioning. In such a scenario, Boravia might have succeeded in its invasion while the world debated protocols. The Accords would have made Superman complicit in atrocity through inaction.
Did you consult with the president before entering Boravian airspace?
No.
The Secretary of Defense?
Nope.
Or any U.S. official decided unilaterally how to handle this extremely delicate situation?
But Superman's greatest strength isn't his power, it's his moral clarity. He does what is right, regardless of legality or permission. Laws would not have stopped Superman from saving people and fighting against evil. After all, there are no borders looking down from the sky.
What would you call a group who routinely ignore sovereign borders and inflict their will wherever they choose?
You illegally entered a country, inserting yourself in the middle of an
Hold
incredibly
on a
heated
minute.
geopolitical
Hold on a
situation.
second.
The United States will cause
Anybody
more
except for
problems
me
around the world,
and
more than a
myself
war that lasted between
good,
12 and 24 hours and was...
Later in the movie, when Boravia attempts a second invasion, it's not Superman who takes action. Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, and Metamorpho step in to stop the invasion. Their intervention is not ordered by any government. It's not motivated by politics. It's motivated by the same principle. You do not stand by while evil is done. This is a universe where heroes act because of what they believe is right, not what is politically convenient or legally sanctioned.
Superman couldn't make it. you got an upgrade.
This belief is the exact opposite of the philosophy behind the Sokovia Accords. In the MCU, characters like Iron Man defend the Accords on the basis of oversight and control. But as Superman shows us, oversight can easily become obstruction.
Oversight is not an idea that can be dismissed out of hand.
If we can't accept limitations, we're boundaryless, we're no better than the bad guys.
Political institutions are slow, self-interested, and often beholden to alliances. When time is critical and lives are at stake, waiting for authorization can cost lives. In the world of Superman, doing nothing because it's not your place is just as morally corrupt as doing the wrong thing. Moreover, Superman's willingness to surrender to the U.S. government after an arrest warrant is out for him demonstrates that these heroes are not above accountability. They're just unwilling to compromise on what's morally right. Superman doesn't rebel because he hates laws. He rebels because some laws are unjust or inadequate to deal with real evil. That is the crucial difference. The Sokovia Accords presume that superheroes must be leashed. Superman shows us they must be free, free to choose, free to act, and free to take responsibility for those actions.
I'm coming in on my own accord.
Point, Superman, you don't have any rights to read.
What makes this movie such a strong argument against the Sokovia Accords is its depiction of what heroism actually looks like. It's not measured by obedience to power, but by service to truth and justice. It's standing alone, when necessary, against the tide of politics, propaganda, and public doubt, because right is right, even when it's unpopular or illegal. Superman is a movie about moral courage. And in an age where international politics are increasingly muddy and morally compromised, this movie reminds us that heroes are defined not by the lines they're told not to cross, but by the lines they refuse to ignore. The Sokovia Accords would have made Superman, and heroes like him, irrelevant. Thankfully, Superman shows us why the world still needs people brave enough to act without permission.